right, good morning everybody. Welcome to Down Home Backyard Gardening. Now, I have not done a garden tour, I think since June. I don't think I did one in July. I might have. And I know I haven't done one yet in August. So it's mid-August, and looking around, I think it's time to do a garden tour, especially since I took a few weeks off from filming and everything. So let's do it. So normally I'll start over here, or I'll start over here. You know what? I'm just gonna start where I start. So we're gonna start right here behind me. Now I'm just gonna show the garden how it is. I haven't really cleaned anything up or straightened anything up. I'm just going. It's 1,000 degrees here, and I'm just trying to do this in the morning so I don't die from the heat, because the heat is ridiculous. But let's start right here. Okay. Sweet potatoes, but these are lilac sweet potatoes, and they're actually taking off, doing pretty good, doing better than I thought they were. But look right here. Apparently, I missed a potato or two in this bin, and so we're gonna have regular potatoes coming up with the sweet potatoes. Now, this isn't the first time that I've missed a couple potatoes when I've cleaned out a potato bin, but that I was not expecting at all. Peppers are doing decent, not great, but decent. Asparagus is just going crazy. So next year I'll be able to harvest asparagus from right there. And then check out these okras. These things have blown up, and I think I have harvested around 30 to 40 already. And these plants are probably about halfway to their height. So lots of okra coming on, and I have more okras growing also. But as we come in here, as you can see, okras are just coming on. I wish that flower was open. If y'all have not seen an okra flower, man, they are so pretty, but I don't see any in here to show. But more okras right there. So yeah, the okras are doing really good. This is just regular sweet potatoes. They'll be ready to come out in about a month, September, October time frame. They'll be ready to harvest. And for those of you that have followed this channel for a while, you know I had this big giant bush here it would put on beautiful yellow flowers. Well, my neighbor, this one, decided to just chop the living crap out of that bush from his side of the fence. Now I'm going to be on a soapbox for a minute, but he never even comes in his backyard. He's never had an issue in 7 years of that bush being there, 6 years, 7 years, and then just decides to chop the crap out of it, and look at it now. I mean, I am not a happy neighbor. Let's just put it that way. I'm very, very, very not happy about how that looks. So I'm going to have to really clean this up in the fall. And yeah, not happy. Moving over, I told you I had more okras. Here are the other okras. We got green okra right here. I want to say these are the Clemson spineless, but honestly, I don't remember what I planted because I have so many okras. And then more of the orange okra right there. These eggplants are doing super good, but the heat is just basically killing all the flowers, not making them produce, which bums me out. But look at how pretty that flower is. Just a beautiful flower. But yeah, bunch of okras right there, more eggplants right here. Okay, now this next section, I did tell you all in the last garden tour, I was gonna rip everything out and get this ready for fall. I haven't done it yet. I think we're going into our 6th or 7th week of 100-degree weather every single day. And I just don't get out here. I'm not gonna lie. I just don't. Like right now, it's really early in the morning, so I could get out here and do this video before that heat comes. But, so this all kind of looks the same from June, except that thing is huge, whatever that is. I don't know, I just let it grow. A lot of basils still, of course. I mean, basil everywhere. I mean, everywhere you look, you're gonna see basil. Beautiful purple basil right there. But just coming on down, there's really not a lot to show. Got a dragonfly here in the morning. That's awesome. Makes me happy. Eat the mosquitoes. Carrots right here, not doing the best, but they're summer carrots. And of course, no one could have predicted 7 weeks of 100-degree temperature. So whatever grows, however they grow, We'll see. Probably about another month or so, I'll start harvesting those. This whole corner, bunch of zucchinis and squashes that have not put on anything at all. There's a flower right there, but it won't produce. Nothing in this corner has produced at all, like at all, except for the cantaloupes. I'll take that back. I did have 3 cantaloupes, lost 2 to craziness in this whole section, this jungle. But really nothing's growing in here right now as far as veggies are concerned. A lot of the lantanas, these rose bushes are monster. I got to take them out this winter, chop them down, let them regrow. But yeah, so that corner is really just a loss. It's a great pollinator attractor, but nothing vegetable wise. Okay, so for the next 2 beds, I'm going to show one that's sort of a failure, maybe not a failure, but definitely not a success, and then the tomato beds that the heat is just ravaging. It's crazy, y'all. This heat has just been insane down here in the Houston area. But here we go. Okay, so that bed. It's supposed to be a pepper bed. These are Carolina Reapers. These are really the only 2 peppers plants that have survived the transplant into this bed. And then the basil. I mean, as you can see, the basil's doing great. Marigolds are doing great. So I think for next spring, either I'm going to have to put a shade cloth up around this entire bed, basically, to keep anything alive in it, because there's no trees that block the evening sun on this bed, and it's just too hot. Everything dies, except for the basils. Or this is just going to be a basil bed. Be nothing but just bringing in pollinators. I don't know what I'm going to do next spring, but some ideas right there. If y'all have some ideas, by all means, drop them in the comments. Help me out, because I really don't know what to do with this bed. The sun just bakes this bed to no end. So I just don't know. I don't know. To me, this bed's a failure. I'll own it. Okay, the tomato bed. Now, there are some tomatoes still growing, which blows my mind in this heat. It's really not producing the way I thought it would. I think there's a lot of factors with this, honestly, and the main factor is the heat. The sun has just cooked all the flowers that grow on all these tomato plants, and without the flowers, there's not gonna be any tomatoes. So, again, no one could have predicted the heat that we're getting this year. But one good thing, though, if you really look at everything, the leaves at the top, well, there's a bumblebee. Where'd he go? He's right there. Bumblebee. Just wanted to become famous. There's a honeybee right there. All right, I'm getting squirreled. All right, at the top of all these plants, all the leaves are doing good. It's just the plants themselves don't look the best, but the tops look great. But part of the reason that we're having so much issues here is, look at this. Here's an example. Here's a tomato clip. Now there is where it's supposed to open. But the heat is literally cracking these things. I cannot tell you how many of these I have replaced this year as opposed to last year. It's insane how bad the heat is affecting everything here, to where it's cracking the tomato clips. So you can only do so much. I'm watering, amending, throwing in all kinds of fertilizers and composts in the beds, in all of them, honestly, to keep everything alive until this heat wave is gone. But tomato bed is actually doing really good. And the good thing that I take from all of this, besides all the pollinators coming in like they should on these basils, but look at all the basils that are in between. That's a basil over on that side, basils inside, basils. We got marigolds. So what am I getting at with all that? I have not had one hornworm this year, not one. And companion planting tomatoes with basil is the key and is the reason I have not had a single hornworm. Standing where I'm standing, you can smell basil. So that basil smell is all through this garden. And that hides the smell of the tomato plants from the hawk moth, which brings in the tomato hornworm. So companion plant your tomatoes with basil and let them go to flower. Let the basil go to flower, because this is what happens. Oh, hello, bee. You just wanted to come right up to the camera there. The basil brings those guys in like crazy. So, again, not going to beat a dead horse, but companion plant your tomatoes with basil. And I mean, look at that. It also adds a lot of color to your garden. All right, so this next bed, I had a major issue about 3 or 4 days ago, which I'll show in another video that'll be coming out in the next few days. But I'm just gonna show the aftermath, because, hey, this is gardening, and I show everything here. Everything. Okay, so if y'all remember, I had a TP trellis right here. Bunch of red ripper cowpeas growing up them. I had what did I have over here? I had a mailbox over here that I store all my stuff in. Well, all that got ripped out. The TP trellis fell over, ripped the mailbox out of the ground, fell on the eggplants, which I lost 1 or 2 of them when the TP just fell right over. So this bed is basically a wash. I'm going to do a video specifically on this bed alone, on how I'm going to totally transform this bed and get it ready for spring. Where I'm going to transform this bed and get it totally ready for fall. And so that will be coming out soon also. That's going to be a lot of work in that video, but I'm going to show y'all everything I'm going to do and why I'm going to do what I'm going to do. I'm going to go nuclear on this bed and really put some blood, sweat, and tears into this bed. But let's show the pride and joy of this bed though. Okay, and of course I'm talking about the Single Seed Challenge 2023 plants. This is Tiny Elvis right here, Priscilla right there. And for those of you that this might be the first time you're seeing a garden tour on this channel, every year I do the Single Seed Challenge, and for the last 3 years I've been a part of a 2nd grade classroom where I do a Single Seed Challenge for that classroom. I let them pick the names, and this year they picked Tiny Elvis for their plant, and then keeping with the theme, I named my plant Priscilla. But these plants are doing really good, even in all this heat. Now, they are not producing flowers right now, so they are not producing tomatoes, but they're alive. I haven't actually had any hornworms on these tomato plants either. I've had army worms and squash bugs and leaf-footed bugs and those things, but no hornworms. And this is the first year since I have been gardening, this is my 3rd full year of gardening, where I have not had a single hornworm yet. Now I know I've probably just jinxed the heck out of myself, but so far, so good. But again, look right here. Basil, and what you can't see is basil is all back in there. So those plants are surrounded by basil also, which I feel is 100% why there are no hornworms on Tiny Elvis or Priscilla, but they are still doing good. I had to show those. I have not done a video on them in a while. Really hasn't been anything to show because of the heat, but definitely wanted to throw the superstars into this video. Okay, everyone, we are almost done. Now, I have saved the best for last. This section is just so full of everything. It's really blowing my mind how well this one bed is doing and how bad the sister bed did. But before we get over to this side, let me show you the wall trellises real quick. So we have cucumbers all through here. I don't even know where these cucumbers are growing from. I'm assuming right over in here, because I thought they were all dead, but they're not. And I'm just letting them sprawl. I'm not doing anything to them. I'm just letting them do their thing. But I have planted more cucumbers right here. These are an Asian cucumber. These cucumbers are these right here, China Jade. That's them. They should easily grow up this trellis right here. I got red ripper cowpeas planted over here because I figured why not let them climb this trellis. I think that'll do well. And then I have Boston, hold on. If I can stop dropping everything. Then I have Boston pickling cucumbers right here that are starting to kind of pop up through here. And the moonflowers, I just noticed this last night when I was out here watering, these vines are starting to come back to life. And I thought they were totally dead, but they're not. So they're doing good. All the fig trees and citrus trees over here are doing good. As you can see, we got calamondins growing like crazy, limes and lemons all back through here. These blueberries are doing good. And then this banana tree right here, surprisingly, is doing a lot better than I thought. Now there's a lot of sunburn on these leaves, but again, can only do so much with 100, 103 feel like temperatures of 110, 115. There's only so much you can do. So, but that banana plant's doing really good. I'm really happy with it. It's putting on, I mean, look, it's putting on new leaves almost every week. So it's doing good. Okay, so for these next two beds, I've got one that's not doing what I hoped it would do and one that's like overproducing like crazy. So I'm sure y'all know where I'm going with this. If you follow this channel for a long time, these are the melon beds. Well, it's supposed to be a melon bed. It's now melon beds. Nature, right? Nature. All right, here we go. All right, look at all the growth. Look at all the growth in this bed. Now you can see right there, there's a Kahari melon. Big old thing, it's over a pound. And the Kahari melons are all through here. I mean, let me see if I can get in here and show. See, there's another one right there behind it. There's another one right back in there. No, just saw that one. There's one right there. I highly suggest you grow them. They are a very good producing melon, and I'll put a link up to the harvest and taste that I did on the Kahari melon. Since that video, I have harvested probably 10 to 15 Kahari melons, somewhere in that range. And I do actually like the flavor of them now, where in the video I wasn't really keen on them. They've kind of grown on me. I'm not a melon person, but I actually like the flavor of these melons. So, for what it's worth. All through here are cucumbers, Kahari melons, golden crisp melons, just all kinds of melons are in here. Let me find the golden crisp melons. So here's some right here. Where are they at? There's some, now those are some small ones. Golden crisp melons. Where else? I know there's more. Hold on. Now, as I'm coming around the corner here, you can see more basil, of course. But look at how all these have now grown over into this bed. Again, more basil. Y'all, when I say I planted basil, I am not joking. I am basil heavy everywhere out here. Like, I didn't play around with basil. Basil's everywhere. And the good thing is most, I would say all the basil that I've shown have been volunteer basils. I haven't planted them this year. They've come back from last year. And next year, they'll come back again, and they'll come back again. So once you start planting basil, just be prepared. Basil's gonna be all through your garden, and that's a good thing. There's no bad con at all to having basil. Like, at all. Let me show you something I'm looking at right now. Now look at that ladybug. Now, if I back out just a little bit, you see some of these leaves are just covered in aphids. If I really start peeling back the layers of this section of this garden is just covered in aphids. So I am letting the ladybugs just do their thing. Look at that like leaf right there, covered in aphids. Now I know you're probably saying, well, just neem oil them and, you know, kill the aphids off, or you can also use water and spray them off and drown them. You know, again, with the heat this year, I'm kind of letting nature just do nature out here. I'm not really affecting anything with neem oils or really anything, I'll be honest. I've just let nature do nature. And when you allow nature to be itself, you are going to have pests, but you're also going to bring in the beneficials, because where there's pests, there's going to be predators. And like I just showed, those ladybugs, I did not buy ladybug eggs and plant them out here. That ladybug just showed up, and I've got them everywhere out. I'm looking at another one right there. So they're everywhere out here, along with the bees. But If you're gonna let nature be nature, just let nature be nature. Affect what you need to affect. Like with rats, I've killed 22 rats this year. 22. And I know people are on the, you're either like, let them be or don't let them. I'm not gonna let rats be in my garden. I don't care. That I will absolutely take charge of. But the other stuff, the aphids and stuff, whatever. It's all good. It's all good. It's too hot to be out here worrying about aphids. I can handle rats. I can take care of the rats, but I'm not gonna affect everything out here. It's just too much. But let me get back to this and get off my soapbox. So as you can see, everything grew from this side, and now look at it over here. It's all, like, everything has fallen over. All these metal tomato cages that were over there have all fallen over. And look, it's all into this bed now, which is nuts to me. Nuts. Oh, here's one. There's a golden crisp melon right there. Oh, there's a real good one right there. Look at that one. Let me get in here. Yeah, that's a good size one right there. And it's not ready yet, but it'll be ready soon. Okay, so why do I consider this bed a failure? Well, let me show you. Got ants on me. Not with that. The peppers that I put in this bed, this whole bed in spring had nothing but peppers in it. And you can see a rat trap right there. I'm not going to hide that. It is what it is. Now, I will say this. This is the 7th or 8th day of no dead rats. So I think the colony that I did have here, I think I've eradicated. Whatever. It's too early, right? Yeah, I'm an idiot. It's all good. If you're still watching at this part of the video, then you obviously like this channel and my goofiness. But anyway, back to it. This whole bed was nothing but peppers in the spring. And this was pretty much how all my peppers went in this bed. They've either died like these, or they've just been stunted like this right here. Has not producing anything at all. But what's crazy about this bed is that this soil and the soil for the melon bed, I built both these beds at the exact same time. Same day, same everything. Same soil life, same soil age, everything. And this bed did not produce at all compared to the other bed. And they're literally 18 inches apart. So I don't know what to think about that. I'm not sure why it is. Why one bed is done so poorly where the other bed is done so good. But again, if y'all have any ideas, please, by all means, drop them in the comments. Give me some ideas of what you think might be the case. I've amended, I've done the meat. I'll put a link to that video right here where I've buried meat and vegetable rinds and stuff like that in these beds. I don't know, but definitely not going to complain when I still got more life coming. And look at these plants. They are just trellising everywhere. I did plant these about a month ago. These are Armenian cucumbers. I think they get about a foot long, and they're growing really good in this bed. So I don't know, y'all. I just definitely confused. But let me show you something that I think is really cool that I saw a few days ago, a week ago. I did a YouTube short on it, but check this out. This is a big old, well, this is a huge Kahari melon that is growing in between my watering system there. And then right beside it, if I can get to it, is another melon. Now, I'll be honest with y'all, I don't know what that is. I believe it is a watermelon of some kind, because I planted so many different melons in this bed. But we'll see what that is whenever it's ready to harvest. But again, look at that Kahari melon just growing the way it's growing there. So funny. See from here how everything is just fallen over to this bed. And everything's just taken off. Now I do have peppers down in here. Yep, you can see them right there. Tabasco peppers are buried in here. And again, I'm just letting everything be. All right, everyone, so that's the garden tour for mid-August 2023. Again, to me, that bed is a failure. This bed, I wouldn't really say it was a failure, but it definitely is a, yeah, I don't know. I guess it's a failure. I don't know. Everything else, though, I don't really consider a failure. I think everything's doing great, especially all this over here. The okras, the sweet potatoes, all the tomatoes. So I've got a good mixture here of success and failures. At least failures in my opinion. They might not be failures to you all. They are to me, though. So, but again, I'm going to show everything. I will show everything regardless. And I enjoy doing that because it keeps me humble. And it lets everyone know that, hey, you're going to have failures in gardening. It's just part of it. Not everything's going to be utopia. So if you're new to gardening, it's just part of it. Now, I am definitely ready for fall. I hope this heat wave is done in a couple 3 weeks, and we can start getting all the fall stuff out here. Now, where I live in 9A, in zone 9A here in the Houston area, we don't really have a winter. Our falls kind of go into winter and then into spring. So I can plant a lot of stuff that you might not be able to plant, say, up north, and which is a blessing and a curse, because right now, like I said, it's week 7 of 100+ degree weather, so it sucks. Hey everyone, I hope everyone enjoyed this video. If you did, give the video a thumbs up. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already. I know for myself, and I know all the rest of the community here on Down Home Backyard Gardening, we would love to have you all join us on this journey of gardening together. Until next time, everyone, take care, God bless. Continue to shine bright and harvest hard. Get out there in the garden and just do your thing. Get it ready for fall. Fall's around the corner. Probably should have already planted your fall seeds by now, depending on where you are. I know for me, I've already started planting my fall seeds, and I have an extended growing season here. So if you're up north, I hope you have definitely started your fall seeds inside on heat mats, under grow lights, or outside if you're able to do that. But either way, fall's around the corner. So talk to y'all again real soon.